New game, new people. Well, some of us are new. Welcome to Geist the Sin-Eaters, 2nd edition. Marvelous City of the Dead. So, let us begin with Malcolm Ward. Malcolm.
Yes.
How goes about your day?
Well, depending if I get a certain call, it's a fairly normal day. Working in the operating room, fixing the innards of some poor bloke.
Go ahead and make me a check as you fix the innards of some poor bloke, as you so put it.
Okay. Let's see. So it's going to be... This is surgery, so Dex medicine?
That makes perfect sense to me.
With a specialty, +1. And there it goes. 1 success. He lives.
1 success.
Well, he doesn't die.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not your best work. But the guy is going to make a full recovery. Prognosis is good. As you are cleaning up after the surgery, you kind of look up into essentially the glass divider that allows you to see into the operating room. With the lights dimmed like this, you can see your reflection quite easily. Who is Malcolm exactly? Or what does Malcolm look like, I should say?
So, Malcolm... Hold on, let me get my descriptor here. So he's average height and build, late 40s, early 50s. Brown, starting into gray hair, really baggy eyes, green eyes, scruffy 5 o'clock shadow. So he's got a little bit of a mark on his left cheek. Kind of looks like a burn. It's more like a discoloration, and then a few other scars on the right. He got from childhood, kind of a rough upbringing. Yeah, he's got some other issues he's working with, smoking and drinking, so it kind of plays into the bags under the eyes. So he's not really operating at peak efficiency at the moment, but he gets the job done.
So, that was probably your last surgery of the day as you kind of look up at the clock. It's roughly pushing 2 a.m. You've already been on for roughly about 36 hours, so to speak.
Been a long day. I need a hit.
So, is that where you're heading?
Yeah, he's gonna head straight home. Probably maybe not straight home. Pick some quick food up on the way. I don't know what they have. Just something super quick, drive through. Light up cigarette at home, pour some whiskey, whatever he happens to have left. And just wind down from the super long day that he's had.
All right. The night goes on. Malcolm slips into somewhat of a drunken stupor. But sleep is not peaceful. You wake up in the middle of the night. Room dark. But there's something in the air. You want to give me a perception check here?
Sure. So, unclick those. So, wits, composure gives me 2 successes.
The room feels uncomfortably warm, even for, Rio, Brazil. It is warm. almost hot. And there is a certain smell of smoke in the air.
Doesn't smell like tobacco. It's not my brand anyway. Well, he'll get up, look around, check out the window, see if maybe somebody's... Doesn't smell like a barbecue either, but he'll look.
Are you on the first or second floor, out of curiosity?
Second.
Second. As you kind of look down, you do definitely see a little bit of red and orange flicker. But you can't see anything directly. It's clearly coming from what would be the front of your house. You don't know if it's necessarily your house or maybe just something out in front of your house, maybe even the building, you know, across the street / you know, to the left. You're not entirely sure.
There is that warm orange glow from somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. It's mildly concerning. So, oh, did we lose someone?
We're fine.
No. I thought I heard a noise. Okay. So Malcolm's going to, you know, from where he just looked, the front window, he'll go to the back, see if there's anything in the back. And then from there, start, you know, heading downstairs to check out, probably go outside and check out what's happening.
As you touch the doorknob, it does feel slightly warm, but not to a concerning degree. Well, I guess actually any sort of warmth on a metal doorknob is concerning, but it's not. It doesn't burn your hand.
But the fact that it's warm is definitely concerning. Okay. Do I open the door? Yes, I'm gonna open the door.
As you open the door, you become painfully aware of the billowing smoke. Matter of fact, at this point, go ahead and make me a stamina check as a heavy cloud of smoke begins to billow in.
Alright, stamina. Yeah, no successes.
The coughing fit that incomes doubles you over, which lowers you just enough as this fire is just getting started. So even doubling over gives you enough clearance to be underneath the plume of smoke right now. But you can definitely see your place is on fire.
It is most definitely on fire. Alright, so where's my phone? I'm going to call 911, or whatever the equivalent of 911 here is. Emergency services.
As you pull out your cell phone, you notice no bars. Which is unusual because you usually have full service in your house.
Yes, that is strange. What? Start putting it up as high as you can without getting into the smoke, but still nothing. Well, priority numero uno now is to get out of the house. So he's gonna try and make his way through the smoke downstairs.
Walking or crawling?
Well, ideally would be crawling, but he may be in a panic and may not may not care. He's also a little drunk.
Well, you can't say maybe. I need an answer here.
All right, he's running, standing.
All right. So, make me dexterity athletics as you come to the stairs, because your vision is going to be obscured by smoke, and stairs are notoriously,
Yeah. I'd say dex athletics. Any modifiers?
-2.
Okay.
Because you're also coughing from the smoke.
Yeah. I still get 3 successes.
3 successes on 4 die. Not bad. Not bad at all. You're able to make it down the stairs. It's not easy, and you do stumble occasionally, but you never actually fall. You're able to catch yourself on the far wall, and, you know, as you get down to the bottom of the stairs, the heat has now come full force. Any visibility from standing up, you have none.
Okay.
And at this point, I need another stamina check at a -1.
So, stamina -1. Of course, it's going to be 0 successes. Oh, so close.
As you topple down the last couple of stairs, essentially it's one of those landings where it comes to a pretty large plateau and then like the last 2 steps.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of fall to your hands and knees, you're able to gain some visibility. Roll me a perception check as you're coughing. Take a -1 to this perception check due to the coughing.
Yep. There. 2 successes.
What is your intelligence/computers?
No computer, 3 intelligence.
I would still say with your certain connections, you would recognize possibly what a homemade jammer looks like in the corner of your house.
I know it's not supposed to be there, whatever it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
However,
well, yeah, go ahead.
However, this only lasts for a moment as the coughing resumes.
Okay, so he's now gonna, well, weird device is registered in his mind, but it's not really important at the moment. A priority is getting out of the house, so he's gonna try and make his way to the front door. Low now, because he's already fallen.
The floor is exceedingly warm. You can definitely tell that the fire was started towards the front of your front door, essentially. As things get warmer, I'm gonna need another stamina check.
Here we go. Modifiers?
-1 still.
Okay. Oh, 1 success.
You're able to push yourself towards the front door. However, at this point, you realize the entire front wall of the house is nothing but a column of flame.
Yes, panic is certainly starting to set in now. So there goes his initial exit route. So he's gonna try and turn around. Smoke is getting much thicker, especially down here. So he's gonna turn around and try and find through the smoke the back door.
You can make it about halfway. Roughly, I would say, like the kitchen. And that is when it happens. The critical mass every fire eventually hits. And it engulfs the entire house and essentially creates a small-scale explosion.
Whoosh. Someone left the gas on.
As life fades from you, it's not like they told you. There was no darkness. There was no light. Instead, it almost seems like you're standing... If you could stand on a door, essentially, that thin little strip of the door, that's what it feels like you're standing on right now. And a small girl appears before you. Go ahead and give us a description of this entity.
Okay, so she's very emaciated, unkempt, what could have been blonde hair, sunken blue eyes, very large gash, like straight across her throat, stab wounds all over the body, and just wearing tatters of unrecognizable, clothes. She's constantly, dripping blood from every hole, every wound, and when they hit, I don't know if there's a floor, but if they were to hit a floor, they would kind of bloom into a small little flower.
She takes a step towards you. And how do you respond?
I'm standing on a very narrow thing.
Yes, it feels like you could probably move forward or backwards, but you probably couldn't move left or right.
And she is
approaching
in front of me. Yeah. He's gonna take a quick look around. What is there anything behind him?
There's nothing. It's not blackness. It is a very night. If you could perceive the night sky as we do without the stars and the moon. So that kind of deepish blue color. But with no dots of light to illuminate it, essentially.
Okay. So he's gonna kind of not crouch, but kind of lower himself almost like a reading position and hold his hands out like, hey, I don't know what you are. Take it easy. I don't know what's happening here. And slowly try and take a step back.
As you take a step back, she takes a step forward. She doesn't make any aggressive movements. Her head does kind of turn unnaturally to the side. And she outstretches a hand. And it's very much the gesture of, if you take my hand, I'll show you a way.
All right, so he's a little confused right now because this clearly obvious zombie thing is not directly attacking him. But he has nowhere else to go. He can't see anything anywhere else. It's just, darkness everywhere. So he's going to tentatively take a step forward and hold his hand out to hers to see. And in the back of his mind, the medical professional he is, he's still analyzing all the wounds that she has, how she might have gotten them, how he could have fixed them. He probably couldn't.
As soon as your hands touch, seems like they were at least right about one thing. There is a blinding flash of light. Now, Júlia, or how would you actually prefer your name be pronounced?
I mean, that works. That's the name.
How goes your day?
Second, sorry, I was coughing. I couldn't hear you.
How goes your day?
Well, another day and another week. Business is not great. Driven a fair distance to meet with some potential colleagues, I suppose. Business partners, clients, whatever you'd like to call them, but ultimately negotiations they don't go too well. Much like many other contracts, unfortunately there's no business to be found here this day. So But I'm out on the coast. Rivers here. A decent day still. Might as well spend a little time out in, nature.
The river, as you kind of look down at it, your reflection is shown to us.
Júlia is roughly, she's not incredibly tall, probably 5'3", 5'4", depending on the shoe. A brownish skin tone, black hair reaches down to her shoulders if she would let it. Keeps it tied back with a bandana. Doesn't do well to have hair in your eyes when you're working with saws. That's usually a hazard.
Very true. The day is warm, humid. I mean, there's no two ways about it, it's always humid. Now, is this trek into nature purely for pleasure, or is there a bit of business?
Well, yeah, there is, some benefit. You don't have to pay for lumber if you find it yourself. There's a few personal projects, more artistic than utilitarian, business-wise here, that she's been looking towards working on. Particular cut of lumber? That doesn't sound right. Particular brand of material being driftwood, considering we're on the coast. It is quite readily available and nobody lays claim to it.
So, there is something that does catch your eye. I'm not gonna make you roll a perception for it. It's a rather large piece of driftwood. It's a bit of a distance from the coast, though. But it definitely looks like it'll suit your needs.
Well, I mean, day's been pretty terrible recent so far. I mean, at least there's some luck. She's gonna kind of size up the current, see, is this something that's even safe to try and retrieve, or wait for it to maybe draw a little closer to shore.
As you wait for it, roughly about 30 minutes goes by, and it definitely seems like it may be stuck on something. As the waves have changed, the tide has certainly came in and rolled out multiple times, so to speak. It definitely has not moved even a meter.
Well, at least it's not a cold day. And she's gonna resign to the fact that this isn't gonna come any closer on its own, and I'll give it a try. Gonna take off my gloves because, well, wet gloves suck even more. Find a nice spot out of sight. Nobody comes by and steals them or something. Carried off by a seagull, or I don't know. And fairly unceremoniously is going to wade out into the currents and see if this is something that's going to happen today.
All right, go ahead and give me your choice of strength or dexterity and athletics here.
There. the same dice pool, so oh well.
2. The current is fairly strong, but it's not unmanageable. You've been around water long enough that you kind of know the ins and outs of safety, so you don't feel overconfident, but you also are kind of like, okay, this is definitely not something this is not a catastrophically bad idea.
Yeah. Well,
As you get out to the...
let's drag it to shore.
As you get to the thing of driftwood, you do see what it's stuck on. It does seem to be stuck... It's kind of wedged in between a crevice that has formed in this stone under the water. And that's what has been kind of keeping it, as essentially, you know, the tide goes like this. The rock is holding it kind of like this.
Well, I ain't got any tools, so give it a push and see if it dislodges.
Give me a strength check.
Flat strength.
Flat strength here. So, 0 successes. So, the good news. You're able to dislodge the rock, or not the rock, the log. The bad news is you're not able to manage the forward momentum. And that causes you to go forward as the log gets pushed out because of the weight you were putting on the log. You twist your body somewhat as you fall, and you land right on essentially where the rock was holding the front part of it. Your arm lands right here. Take a point of lethal damage and arm rack as you feel the bones snap in your arm.
Well, panic, obviously, sets in here. I'm going to try to pull my arm free immediately.
It's not... Actually, give me a dexterity plus athletics here.
I believe that's -2 because of arm rack.
I believe so too. As you begin to move, you realize that your arm is completely jammed in there. It's wedged down further than the log was because your arm is obviously smaller than the log. So, however, because of the condition your arm is in, you're not able to get it free. Your head's above water. For now.
Well, we're not staying like this, so is that log still kind of nearby that I might be able to grab and maybe leverage myself out with?
For a split second, it is. Go ahead and give me your roll to try and grab it.
Dex athletics?
Yep.
Is it a -2 because it's not the affected arm, but it's still, I don't know.
You can go ahead and do it with your full pool here. Or, if you want to go ahead and take the negative, I would say go ahead and...
Well, I fail with the negative, so if these do be dark times.
All right. Well,
I mean,
you rolled without the negative, so we'll just take it as is. 2 successes. You're able to grab onto the log. However, that still doesn't give you any sort of real way to pull your arm out. And that's when you feel yourself sinking. but you quickly realize you're not sinking. The water's pulling away. And if you're pretty far out, so if the water's pulling this far down and you're that far away, I mean, you've lived in this area long enough, you know what's incoming.
Maybe it'll dislodge me. Well, if the water is pulling away, maybe we can pull our arm out. A little easier.
You're able to get, as the water does get a little bit lower, you're able to get more of a footing, so to speak. And that does help you get your arm free here. No roll in this one. However, you're also keenly aware of the sound of surging water behind you.
Well, that's truly unfortunate. We don't have any other options but to try to get to. No, we have two options.
Tick-tock. That water's coming in.
Yeah, I guess option we're going with is she's gonna try to grab a hold of that piece of driftwood and hope that it goes to the coast too.
And that is when the wave hits you. I'm gonna need strength athletics here, T, because if you don't make this, it's definitely gonna knock you off your feet.
I rolled a 2. Might as well just dramatic failure and get it over with.
Hey.
Dramatic failure. This wave hits you. And as you're holding onto the log, it actually throws you over the log head first straight into the rocks. You are going to be immediately knocked unconscious as the waves tumble over you. When your eyes open, you feel the sudden urge to evacuate your lungs of water. Upon doing so, you raise your head and you see yourself in a starless night sky area. As explained before, it feels like you could move forward and backward, but if you were to move left or right, you would fall.
Some deep breaths here, and okay. I'm gonna, do the, look at your hands. Am I alive? Like this, like what?
The best
Look
you
at my
can tell.
arm. How's my arm doing?
Your arm still looks broke.
Oh, great. How's the pain?
No pain.
Yeah.
As you kind of return your attention to the area about you, there's an entity before you. What does this entity look like?
Well, they are, by modern standards, dressed in what is effectively rags and animal skins. They, probably look like the local homeless, heroin addict under the bridge. But they are what's the word I want? They are European in, I guess, ethnicity. They're white, they're blonde, and they are standing there dressed in their rags, holding what is effectively a very crude hammer and spear. I
It takes a step forward, this entity.
this is a test or something. This is
It kind of cocks its head at the question and moves the hammer into the same hand as the spear, so it's kind of, holding them side by side as it takes another step towards Júlia.
look. I go to church. I went to confession the other week. I'm no sinner. This is
Kind of, you see a slight smirk on its face as it shakes its head. And then it offers its hand out, as if to say, I know the way.
she's gonna, glance around at surroundings again, and it's like, well, if this is a test, I'm about to pass or fail it. So, yeah. And she'll take the person's hand and hope that this really does not damn her to hell.
And it seems like they were correct about one thing. There is a flash of light. Chip.
Hey, sorry for the popping in and out.
Perfectly fine. So, how's your day been going, Chip?
Been a bit of a mess. Trying to get through what passes for a highway in Brazil. Traffic's a nightmare. But I gotta get to the hotel.
As your eyes flick up into the rearview mirror, you kind of catch a glimpse of yourself.
Well, I kind of look over to my left. There's not a rear mirror, but I look over to the left to check traffic, and what you catch is the reflection of this mid-50s mountain of a man. Big, brawny, looks like he's worked out every day of his life. And what he's carrying on the back would indicates as such. Large steel coils that have a lot of chains on them. And the way it's kind of set up as the roll is facing towards him in an aptly named suicide coil. And he himself, he looks rough. He looks like he doesn't get a whole lot of sleep. Darkened eyes, a little ghoulish, if not for the tan.
You've been on the road for roughly how many hours now?
This is 2006. Yeah, about 13, 14 hours. I mean, I'm not in the US anymore. There's no logs. So they were pretty insistent. This stuff's got to get to the port as soon as possible. But the pay's good.
Well, small graces and all of that. The next road sign lets you know of your exit coming up. However, with traffic being what it is, you've got to look for an opportunity to take it, if to get into the right lane. That opportunity is right this moment. Give me dexterity plus drive.
plus bonuses, I believe.
If you have a specialty, absolutely.
I'm just trying to figure out, let's see, normal. How do I add? Okay, modifiers.
Yep.
So specialty adds +2.
It's a +1 unless you take area of expertise.
I don't think so, so no.
Oh,
Only roll the modifier.
you would need to click on the word dexterity and the word drive,
Oh.
and then it'll roll those two. And then you put in the modifiers 1.
Or alternatively, you can just type in the entire dice pool if you wanted. But
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. I'm the new guy.
It's roll 20.
Blame roll 20.
Nice.
Oof.
1
Close.
success.
I will merge now.
But beep beep, I'm a truck.
Beep beep, you're a truck, and other people are idiots.
Yeah, four-wheelers. Gotta hate them.
So. I'm gonna make my first roll of the game. Woo!
Well, it's been fun, everyone. My character's getting deleted from reality.
What kind of game is this? We're all dying in episode 1.
Yeah, terrible storytelling. Railroaded.
Another car cuts into the spot that you were just getting ready to merge into. Now, I'm going to give you an option here with your roll. You can either force yourself in,
Mhm.
or you can use your roll to swerve back.
Well, if he got in the spot before me, I'm the professional driver, so I'm expected to play defensively. So, yeah, I pull back into lane since I only got about halfway in. So,
And that one moment is now gone. You have missed the exit for that.
mhm. Deep breath, utter something, but I'll catch a U-turn, or not a U-turn, but I'll catch another exit. It happens way too often.
With the way traffic goes, you've unfortunately not similar experiences. Stuff like that doesn't happen all the time. However, it has been gridlocked for 2 hours now. Give me your first stamina check, because that's a long time to be driving.
Laughs in 11-hour day drive times. No, I'm just kidding. So you said, so stamina.
Just stamina.
So is there anything or just stamina?
Just
Okay, so
stamina.
take drive off and make sure unarmed isn't on there. Yep.
You feel your eyes.
Yeah.
You feel your eyes droop, but you're able to keep them open.
Yeah, this is bad.
And that car that cut into that spot before you did. You see him make another quick lane change with the car in front of you. However, the car in front of you is probably not quite as good of a driver. They collide. There's not time. No amount of skill in the world is going to allow this rig to stop in time.
No.
So, why exactly do they refer to that as a suicide coil?
Because if you slam on brakes and there's a catastrophic failure, that coil rolls and flattens your cab. And A steel coil's weight is roughly 45,000 pounds, up to 46, 47. You get the point. It
Yes.
wouldn't just roll over me. It would then proceed to roll through the lanes.
Well, you're not necessarily slamming on the brakes, but this rig is coming to a very sudden stop. There is a failure. It goes forward, but because of the way the wreck is going on, the front end of your rig is tipping forwards, because this is not just one car. It's 2 car, and then 3 car, and essentially it keeps going further and further. More and more cars become involved. So essentially, the front end of your truck dips down, so when it goes off, it doesn't flatten you. However, it does leave your truck and continue to hit other people.
Mm-hmm.
You are, however, still being flipped in your rig, upside down, essentially, with the back part of your rig going over. Essentially, you've now just done this.
Yep, fold it over. And if the engine doesn't kill me, the pavement will.
It doesn't, neither of them kill you, at least not instantly. Give me a stamina check here. Stamina. Pure stamina here.
Come on. Did it roll? Yep.
Another 1 success.
Do I get 10 again? Oh no, it did roll. I see
Yeah.
now. I see.
Yeah, it automatically does 10 again.
Nice.
You're conscious. Your entire body is in pain. We're not going to track damage here in this situation, because that's just a lot of clicking that you would have to do to just erase later. So we're going to ignore the damage. Equivalently, you have everything filled with lethal at this time, though. The fact that you're still conscious is a miracle.
Or a curse.
You're not able to move. You do hear voices, though. Roll me a perception check, though. That's going to be wits plus composure.
Let's see, wits, composure. Oh, not terrible.
Exceptional success. In this case, I am going to say take the inspired perception condition. Basically, the next time you roll perception, you can burn that to get an exceptional success on 3 rather than 5.
I'm trying to find a place to put that.
Page 3.
I will subsequently forget I have it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
With that, you're fading in and out of consciousness, but you do hear the police. You definitely hear emergency responders on the scene. And after about 5 minutes, the last thought that you have is, they're not gonna check here. There's no reason they would. This should have killed me. They're gonna check on people that might still be alive.
Yep.
The next time your eyes open, a starless night sky, teetering to your left and teetering to your right. What is the entity that stands before you?
Kind of bit older man, or at least he composes himself as such. You can see a translucent face, but there is the skull is visible through kind of a ghostly face, almost. The face does have like an ember to it. He wears denim jeans, boots. I mean, he could be mistaken for a biker, but he very distinctly has, instead of biker motif, it is another, like an older veteran driver. And yeah, he looks like his prime was about 30 years ago.
And he takes a step forward towards you, Chip.
I mean, I don't back down. I take a step towards him. If I can move.
You can move. It's not pleasant. It still feels like your body hurts.
Mm-hmm. Say,
There.
I thought death was gonna look... Oh, can I speak?
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I mean, my character's not my guy's not stupid. He knows pretty much. He just died. He's very self-aware at this moment, and he goes, I thought death would look a lot cuter than this.
A half smirk appears on the ephemeral face over the skull, so to speak. And he doesn't tilt his head in curiosity. He tilts his head, when somebody says somewhat of a funny joke and you're kind of just like, eh. And he stretches out his hand, as if to say, I'll show you the way.
He grabs the hand, and his next thought is, Lord, please let heaven be a Petro.
And they were at least right about one thing. There is a flash of light. Tiago. How's your day?
Oh, it's going to be rough. At the moment, checking on his phone, checking the time again, and currently sat in the passenger seat of a car.
The driver is doing very much the same thing. He goes, what, they have 15 minutes, right?
On average, yeah.
We're sitting at 13 minutes. Should we just cut our losses here? Or do you think they'll be back in 2?
Fetch the boxes. Go for the boxes. It take time, but it's worth it.
All right. And as you look over at the bank, you catch your face in a mirror.
So Tiago is in his late 20s, shoulder length, dark hair, Latino male, something of a kind of permanent semi-grown beard. His look is more out of laziness than an actual aesthetic choice. And at the moment, he also has a hockey mask kind of worn up on top of his head.
Another minute goes by. Roll me perception. What's composure?
Yeah, I know. I do.
2 successes. You hear the sirens. Right as you hear the sirens, you see the other members booking it out of the bank.
I lean into the back seat, grab a gun, mask going down.
Within the next couple of seconds, the back door is thrown open. The merchandise, I will just phrase it like that for now. We're not talking cloth sacks with money signs on them. We're talking boxes, so on and so forth. And the other two individuals throw themselves into the seat. The driver doesn't even wait for them to shut the door. He slams on the gas and is off. In the next few seconds, where that car once stood, the police have already passed that mark. They are hot on you. The car is somewhat unwieldy as they still haven't managed to get the back door closed yet. They're kind of being obviously tossed left and right as the car takes evasive maneuvering down the streets, weaving in and out of traffic.
I'm going to wind this paycheck, wind the window down and go up, and using the roof as a support, I'm going to start shooting out.
Roll me dexterity plus firearms at a -2 since you don't have a stable base here.
Yep. 6. One.
So that's a total of 4 because you're using an assault rifle here, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're able to damage the police car. The police cars are designed to, at least the ones that are handling these bank robberies, are designed to take at least a few hits from decent calibers. Having been fired upon, one of the police officers leans out the passenger side and returns fire.
Oh.
It is just a standard small 9mm, so that's only going to be 4 points of lethal damage. But this guy does seem to be a pretty decent shot when he hits you.
Yeah, I'm gonna fall back and kind of catch myself against the open window. And now, given that I'm holding an assault rifle in one hand, I am literally I realise that's going to be a negative modifier on its own, but I'm going to make an all-out attack and just drain the clip.
That's going to be -4. Unstable base and one-handed.
What's the modifier for just burst?
Full auto?
Full auto
Yeah.
is +3.
So -4 plus 5 is +1. I have no defense. Not that I had it before anyway.
You also can't make an all-out attack with a firearm, but I'll ignore that.
Oh, okay. In that case, it's minus.
It's some melee
Right.
thing.
He can still full auto, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes, that's +3. -4, so -1. It's one success again. So 4.
A couple of the bullets are able to find their mark. Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna just have to deal with that sound in the background. Are able to find their mark. But he's gonna fire back at you. Another 4 lethal.
Oh, that pushes me over.
You're full lethal?
I'm one ag.
Give me a stamina roll, and if you make that stamina roll, give me dexterity plus athletics.
No, nothing. Oh, it did a -3.
Wound penalty.
Yeah.
Which you don't actually get a wound penalty for this.
Yes, I'll do 5. 2.
Yeah, give me that dexterity plus athletics to not go falling out of the car.
And that's 1 die. Right, I am willpowering this. Put me at 4. 1 success.
Your vision fades in and out, but you're able to get a grip on the car to not fall.
I'll duck back in and say to the guys, and this gets kind of like blurring. I don't know which one I'm even speaking to anymore. I'm on empty. One of you go.
They go. The driver kind of looks over and he goes, "Dude," and you just see his head shaking as he's looking at you.
If I get the daughter, I've taken worse. I'm living. I'm surviving. No matter my worst.
The next moment, you open your eyes. It is a starless night sky. You remember something, though. You remember a hazy vision as you try to walk up to your mother's front door. You remember your hand going onto the doorknob and then sliding down, coating the doorknob with blood. It's a weird feeling because you don't remember actually doing that. But with how much blood was lost, it's at least a nice memory that maybe you did make it home. Tiago, what is the entity that stands before you?
It is a disproportionate, very languid figure. Arms and legs that seem too long for its body. Very, very thin. Dressed in a sort of turn of the 19th, 20th century suit, but it's ripped and like lashed with chains. And underneath it, there's like an open rib cage, or the chains kind of intertwined into that. The head is sort of at this crooked angle, and fixed onto it is an old dial safe, the dial of which permanently rotates.
This entity takes a step towards you.
Am I still armed?
Yes.
I am going to try and fire at it.
Not gonna make you make a roll here. The bullets seem to kind of pass through it.
No. I've heard this is hallucinations, loss of blood is nothing your right. Wake up.
This one rushes towards you and kind of grabs you and lifts you up by the collar of your shirt until you are essentially what would be classified face to face with it.
You're not real. You can't be real. Things like you don't exist. It's horror stories. It's old folk tales.
The dial clicks loudly, and that little door begins to open. But before you can see what's in it, it grabs your hand, as if to shake it. As if to say, I am going to show you the way.
I don't think I've got any saying matter anymore.
That door opens. And they were right. There is a flash of light. You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Geist the Sin-Eaters, 2nd edition, Marvelous City of the Dead, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener. If you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, when change comes, and it will it be full of hope or tragedy?